fidget toy. Who doesn't love a fidget toy? Hi, my name's Katrina and I'm the maker behind Crochet by Katrina. Welcome to my channel. Today I have for you a tutorial on how to crochet my popping egg. So this is my own design, a little popping egg which pop, pop, goes up and down. A little bit of fun. I think this will be a perfect little make for Easter or in preparation for any markets prior to Easter. I think people will be loving to buy these as extra little gifts for children at Easter time. And they're a fidget toy. Who doesn't love a fidget toy? So let's jump into the tutorial. So starting out with our supplies, here's a hook. I'm using a 4mm hook, a darning needle, some scissors, and the yarn colours I'm using for this are green, this lovely cream, and for the egg I chose purple and yellow, but of course you can choose whatever you prefer. So starting out, first of all, we're going to do our magic ring. So if you haven't learned how to do one of these, I recommend you searching up on YouTube. There's lots of tutorials. I will be doing one myself in the coming weeks, but there's lots of tutorials already on YouTube to help you out with that. So starting in our magic ring, we're going to be doing 6 single crochet using our basket color. So just working those around gradually. Just take your time with this, there's no need to rush. And then once we've done our 6, all we need to do is pull on that thread and it closes the circle for us. So for row 2 or round 2, we're going to be doing 6 increases. So doing 2 single crochet into each of those 6 initial single crochets that we did. And so then we'll be left with a round of 12 single crochet. So just working 2 single crochet all the way around. So then when you get to that stitch marker, just remove that and do your final 2 single crochet into that stitch. And then don't forget to pop your stitch marker back in the last stitch there at the end of that round. So for round 3, we'll be doing a pattern of 1 single crochet and then 1 increase. So then we'll end up with a total of 18 stitches. So just do the 1 single crochet and then an increase, which is 2 single crochet into the same stitch, and keep repeating that all the way around till we reach our stitch marker. And there we have round 3. For round 4, we'll simply be doing 2 single crochets and then 1 increase all the way around. So work into 1 single crochet and then another single crochet and then 2 single crochet in the next stitch, which is our increase. So we'll continue with this pattern of 2 single crochets and then an increase all the way around, and we will have a total of 24 stitches. So working into our last stitch there with our increase, and that is the end of row 4. Now beginning with row 5, we're going to be working into the back loop only. So just take your time, make sure your hook just goes into the back loop of each stitch, and we're just going to do 1 single crochet all the way around into the back loop only, and this will help form a nice base for our basket. So just continuing on all the way around in the back loop only, and then I will see you for round 6. So for round 6, we're going to be doing 3 single crochets and then an increase all the way around, and ending up then with a total of 30 stitches. So just continuing around with our 3 single crochets and then an increase until we reach the end of that row, and I'll see you for row 7. So you can see now that our basket's beginning to take shape. So now we're going to be doing 2 rows of just simply single crochet around. So that was row 7 and 8, and now I want you to put a stitch marker in the back loop of the first stitch of the next round, and we're going to be doing double crochet into the front loop only of the next round. So take your time just working into the front loop only of this row or this round, and that will be forming the nice folded edge of our basket. And the stitch marker placed there will make life a lot easier when you go to start adding in our second colour after this row. So just finishing off our last double crochet there of the round. And I'm sorry I accidentally went off the camera there for a little bit. But here we are now with that nice edging of our basket. And then all we need to do is simply slip stitch to the top of the first stitch that we did in that round, and that will just make a nice even finish for the edge of our basket. So that can just be folded down nicely. Super cute. So just finishing off our yarn here, we're able to make a nice neat finish weaving in the yarn, and that is the basket almost complete now. And there you go, there's our cute little Easter basket all ready now to start making the popping egg. So what you want to do now is attach our second colour of yarn. So I've chosen this cream, but you can use whatever colour you like. So just yarn over, pull that through, and we can start working in the back loops now. So just working carefully into those back loops. Just take it easy, make sure you get into the right spot there all the way around so it's nice and even. We're just doing one single crochet into each of those back loops all the way around. So once we make it all the way around, we're going to be starting our decreasing now. So that was one single crochet, two single crochet, three single crochet, and then a decrease. So pulling our yarn through, going back in, pulling our yarn through again, yarn over, and pull through all three. So our pattern for this row is 3 single crochet and then a decrease all the way around. And by performing this decrease, that will be what is starting to create our popping action for the Easter egg. And now for round 12, we're going to be doing 2 single crochet and then a decrease all the way around, ending up with a total then of 18 stitches. So starting here now at row 13, we're going to be doing 1 single crochet and then a decrease all the way around, which will then leave us with a total of 12 stitches. So getting quite small now, which means we're getting quite close to our Easter egg, which is the fun part. And our final row in this colour is simply 6 decreases, leaving us with a total of 6 stitches. And here we are at the end of row 14. So now we'll be changing to our egg colour, the main colour you want for your egg. I've chosen purple. So we're just going to be changing to that colour now and fastening that one. So just tying those two colours together now, nice and firm. Now we can finish off the cream colour and we're ready to begin our Easter egg. The first round of our Easter egg is 6 single crochet all the way around. And just placing our stitch marker in the 6th stitch there. For row 2 of the egg, we're going to be increasing all the way around. So increasing in each stitch by doing 2 single crochet in each stitch, and that will leave us with a total of 12 stitches at the end of this round. So row 3 will be 1 single crochet and then 1 increase all the way around, ending up with a total then of 18 stitches. Round 4 is 2 single crochet and then 1 increase all the way around, ending up at the end of that with a total of 24 stitches. So at the beginning of row 5 now, we're going to be changing to our second egg colour. So just attaching that there now. And we're just going to be single crocheting around for a total of 24 stitches. So you can just leave your colour 1 yarn there, as we will be using that again. So there's no need to finish off that one, you can just leave it there and we can pick it back up at the end of this row. And here we are now at the beginning of round 6. So what we can now do is just take our first colour, yarn over and pull that through, and we can leave our second colour there ready for when we're doing the second stripe on the egg. Popping in our stitch marker there, and we single crochet around again with our colour 1 all the way around for the total of 24 stitches. And here we are now at the beginning of row 7, and we're just picking up that second colour again to do the second stripe on our egg. So this row is simply single crocheting around for a total of 24 stitches. Now for row 8, we're going to be picking up our colour 1 again. So we've got 2 lovely stripes there, and we can finish off with the yellow now as we're not going to be using that anymore. So just tying that off nice and firmly there, so that we can then begin row 8 using our first colour. Popping in our stitch marker. So row 8 is going to be starting to decrease the egg now. So we're doing 2 single crochet and a decrease all the way around, and ending up then with a total of 18 stitches. So here we are now at the end of row 8 with our final decrease there, and just popping back in the stitch marker. Row 9 will be 1 single crochet and then a decrease all the way around our egg, ending up then with a total of 12 stitches. So now that we're at the end of that round, it's time to start stuffing our egg. So just being careful that none of the stuffing passes or goes past the bottom of the egg. So just making sure it's only the egg that we're filling. It doesn't have to be too firm yet, but I just like to at least start stuffing it a bit at this point to make it a little bit easier to work with and to shape. So you can see now how it's nice and snug. It can pop up and down a little bit even before we're finished. So just pop some in there, and then we can move on to our final rows. So moving on now, we're going to be doing decrease all the way around. So 6 decreases, and finishing this round with a total of 6 stitches left. So now we're left with 6 stitches, and we're just going to be finishing off using our darning needle, so we can cut our yarn, pull it through, and then we're going to finish off by grabbing our darning needle and threading that. And now we're going to pick up the front loop only of each of these remaining 6 stitches. So just sewing through each of those so that we can finish the top of our egg. And just pulling on our yarn there, and that will close the egg nicely, so that we can just then pop it back through a few more times just to make sure it's nice and secure. And then just poking it, I like to do this, poke it through and then pull it not too tightly. Make sure our egg's shaped nicely and then just cut the end of the yarn off there. And there we have our popping egg. How cute is that? Thank you for joining me for this tutorial for the little popping egg. I hope you enjoyed it and that you love now having your own popping egg. If you'd like the written pattern, I have it for free on Instagram, or if you'd prefer a PDF, you're able to purchase that from my Etsy shop as a digital download. So the link is in the description for that, for my Etsy store. And yes, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and happy crocheting.